Hello friends and welcome back to another Labyrinth one-shot video. Today we're taking on what is traditionally regarded as one of the most difficult fights in the Labyrinth. This is Agent Venom. So Agent Venom has an enigmatic ability that says throughout the fight when combatants strike their opponent, they apply a timer that lasts for 3 seconds, and this shows up as like a black concussion icon. The only way to remove the timer is to strike back and transfer it to the other person, and if the timer runs out you get a massive incinerate debuff. And the reason why this fight was so difficult for a long time is that until Iceman entered the game, there was no incinerate immune champion, and thus really no way to do this fight fully countered, that is, without playing very aggressively and hoping for an aggressive AI. So I actually took my Colossus, post-buff, of course, to rank 5, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I popped an Awakening Gem into him, just to get the extra ramp up on the armors. So Colossus has natural incinerate immunity, and with the awakened ability, whenever he receives a debuff that he is immune to, in this case the incinerate debuff that's being passed back and forth, he has a chance to immediately turn it into an armor up effect. So the objective here is to basically use my SP1 to build up to 20 permanent armor up buffs, and then from there I can span the special 2 to kind of get to the massive damage, the massive crit damage. So I am boosted up here, as you saw. I also have Omega Red on the team. I tested this fight out before I ran through this path with a couple other synergy partners, and I found that Omega Red was the best. So he gives you 2% attack increase per armor up buff, and then you get an extra armor up on a parry too. I compared this with the Emma Frost synergy, which gives him power gain per armor up buff. But if you run into passive AI, and Agent Venom's not willing to really throw his specials, then the power gain really doesn't do anything for you, because the goal would be to cycle the SP2 as quickly as possible, get the massive amounts of armor ups on yourself, and go from there. So there are a couple other champs I think who can probably do this fight. Colossus right now I think is probably one of the best, if not the best options. He has class advantage, natural immunity. Really, it turns this fight into just a normal Agent Venom fight with a lot of health. Iceman can absolutely do this fight too. He has the same immunity and class advantage. His damage is nowhere near as good as Colossus's, so you'd probably want to run Suicides and just stick to the SP3 in that point. I think Human Torch could do this fight, but you have to do it with the pre-fight ability, because otherwise Agent Venom is going to shrug off most of your Incinerate debuffs, and he can't shrug off the Nova Flames. So. And with Torch also, you'd be getting Smolder every time the Incinerate debuff is passed back to you. So eventually you'd ramp up. Of course, if you've watched my other Labyrinth videos in which I've used Torch, I found that it's really difficult to ramp up his damage to a point where he's doing considerable amounts of damage to the opponent. So I think Havoc can probably do this fight too. Again, same sort of immunity, class advantage. Most of Havoc's damage is reliant upon getting off the massive specials, and you really don't have that option in Labyrinth because of the damage cap. One thing that Havoc would help you out with is that if Agent Venom shrugs off the those plasma debuffs, it does like instant energy damage to him. So worth testing. I didn't test it because I didn't want to rank up my 6-star Havoc just yet. So I think Red Hulk could probably do this fight. I don't know that you would want to do it with him. And Ghost can absolutely do this fight too. I think Legacy has a video of him getting a soul on this fight, but with Ghost you really have to have other synergy partners on your team. Wasp for sure. I think he uses Hood as well, maybe an Ant-Man too, but I didn't want to sacrifice 3-4 spots in my team for just this fight. So that's about it. So this is a pretty solid fight. Colossus, with the armor buffs, he takes essentially no damage from the SP1 blocking those bullets, which is really just a nice bonus effect. I think at some point here I also put the passive fatigue on Agent Venom. I feel like I do this right around the time the first enrage timer ends. just so that in case I do slip up and take a combo, it maybe wouldn't do that much because the crit rate would be severely lowered. And that's about it. I'm not sure if I'll do another one-shot from this path or not, so we'll see what happens. So, alright, that's it. I'll let the fight play out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.